The Benin Kingdom, also known as the Benin Empire or Edo Empire, which began from 1440 to 1897, was a sizable pre-colonial African nation that is now part of Nigeria. Even though the Oba or monarch only serves as a symbolic function right now, he still exists. Eweka I, the first Oba, passed away in 1246. Up until it was captured by the British Empire in 1897, the Benin Empire was one of the oldest and most advanced empires in the coastal region of West Africa. The empire as a political entity was abolished in the late 19th century by the European imperial power of Great Britain. The colonialists touched the Oba's capital because of his opposition to them. However, they permitted the 36th Oba to return to Nigeria following the death of the exiled 35th Oba who had opposed them. The Oba of Benin is now acknowledged as a member of the House of Chiefs with other traditional leaders in the post-colonial nation-state of Nigeria. He is in charge of about 5 million persons in the Edo community. The Oba is a representative of a rich cultural and historical past in his own society that is still well known for its bronze, ivory, and iron objects. Sadly, many priceless pieces of art were destroyed when the British set fire to the Benin city, the capital of the empire, in 1897. The colonialists were so certain in their moral right to control others that they frequently missed or did not think twice to remove proofs showing individuals they believed to be primitive possessed a wide range of abilities and technology. One popular story claims that the Ogisos once governed the Benin or Edo people, the original inhabitants and builders of the Benin Empire. In the year 1180 CE, Ebino, later known as Benin City, was established. The number of Ogisos who ruled the empire is estimated to be above 36. When the previous Ogiso passed away, one of the queens changed the message from the oracle to the Ogiso, which resulted in the expulsion of Ogiso's son and heir apparent, Ekaladehan, from Benin. Ekaladehan was a renowned prince and a formidable fighter. After leaving Benin, he traveled to the Yoruba homeland of the west of modern-day Nigeria. When the Yoruba oracle predicted that a king would emerge from the jungle at that time, Ekaladehan was welcomed as a king when he came to Ife. In order to become the great Oduduwa of the Yoruba land, he changed his name to Imadoduwa, which means I did not misplace my monarchy. After the passing of the last Ogiso, a delegation of the Benin chiefs under the leadership of Chief Oliha came to the Ife land to beg him to return to Benin and take the kingdom. A king cannot leave his kingdom, Oduduwa responded, but he had 7 sons and would ask one of them to return to Benin to take the throne as a new king. The son of Ekaladehan, also known as Oduduwa, Oramiyon, consented to travel to Benin. After living in Benin for a while, he returned to Ife when his wife gave birth to a boy named Eweka. The first Oba of Benin was Eweka I, who assumed authority in 1440 and expanded the city-state into an empire. He also went ahead to rename the empire in 1470 to Edo. The Oba had grown to be the dominant force in the area. The first Golden Age Oba, Oba Ewuare, who reigned from 1440 to 1473, is recognized for fortifying Benin City as a military stronghold with walls and moats. He started the expansion of the kingdom out of the heartland of Edo-speaking people from the citadel. The Edo Empire's central government oversaw the nations of Ida, Owo, and Akure. The Edos assert that the empire formerly stretched from Onitsha in the east through the wooded southwest of Nigeria and into the modern-day country of Ghana. The ancient kingdom of Benin is where the Ga people of Ghana's lineage may be found. The state produced a highly developed artistic culture, which is particularly evident in its framed bronze, iron, and ivory objects. This included life-size bronze statues of the Benin Obas and bronze plaques for walls. The Festac mask, which is modeled on Queen Idia, is the most prevalent artifact. Majority of the artwork at the time was made or commissioned by the palace, frequently for ceremonial usage. The Oba was often portrayed in various clothes in art. The Guild of Artisans at the time resided in a defined area of the city and was supported by the king. Europeans first believed that this art had a non-African origin since they did not believe that Africans were capable of producing such exquisite work. The Oba, a regent, governed the empire, even though his proverbs are mostly ceremonial and religious. The Oba of Benin is still the most renowned traditional monarch in Nigeria today. Edo, presently known as Benin City and located in what is now southern Nigeria, served as the capital of the Benin Empire. During the medieval era, the Benin people who ruled the region gave rise to the Benin Empire. The name Ebino refers to anger amongst groups in western Nigeria, reflecting the aggressive attitude of the Benis, while Benin refers to greater or world region in groups in northern and north-central Nigeria. It is more appropriate to refer to the city and its inhabitants as Edo. These people may currently be found primarily in and around Benin City. Portuguese explorers arrived in Benin for the first time in approximately 1485, with the Portuguese selling tropical goods and increasingly slaves for European goods and weapons. A close economic connection was established. Early in the 16th century, the King of Portugal dispatched Christian missionaries to Benin, while the Oba dispatched an envoy to Lisbon. In the late 19th century, some people in Benin could still speak Pidgin Portuguese, and in 1553, an English expedition made their first trip to Benin. Visitors visiting the kingdom in the 16th and 17th century brought back stories of the Great Benin, a magnificent metropolis with opulent structures that was governed by a strong ruler. As a result of the export of pepper, palm oil, and ivory, a sizable commerce rapidly developed between England and Benin. 20% of trade was in ivory, 30% in slaves, and 50% in other goods. After 1700, Benin City and Empire went into decline, but the 19th century saw a comeback thanks to the growth of the trade in palm oil, slaves, and textiles. Due to the slave trade with Europe, which involved selling captives from interior enemy kingdoms and having them transported to the Americas by Dutch or Portuguese ships, Benin got richer during the course of the 16th and 17th centuries. The coast of the Bight of Benin quickly earned the moniker, which means Slave Coast. Throughout the most of the 1880s and 1890s, Benin avoided negotiating a protectorate arrangement with Great Britain. However, a punitive expedition was launched in 1897 in response to the murder of 8 British diplomats in Benin territory. A British force under the direction of Admiral Sir Harry Rawson captured and burned the city, destroying much of the nation's priceless art and scattering nearly all that was left. The portrait figures, busts, and groves manufactured in Benin, commonly referred to as Benin bronzes in brass, carved ivory, and irons, are now an exhibit in museums all over the world. A total of 3,000 items were taken away and kept in secret storage for many years in order to spread the lie that such artworks could not have been created in Africa. The Oba at the time was taken prisoner and ultimately given permission to remain in exile until his demise in 1914. However, in colonial Nigeria, the position of Oba was still respected. A new palace was constructed by Eweka II, who started ruling from 1914 to 1933 to replace the one that the British destroyed when they set fire to the city. Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom was welcomed by Akenzua II, who started ruling from 1933 to 1978 during her state visit to Nigeria in 1956. The Benin rulers, known as Oba, were seen as having a divine right to reign, in addition to having complete control over all commerce with foreign nations. The Benin art honors several emperors. Ivory marks depicting monarchs with crowns and necklaces made of human heads were meant to be worn at the hips of rulers and symbolize the Oba's control over commerce or his dominance over strangers. Until today, the Benin Kingdom remains one of the strongest and most revered kingdoms across the world, judging by their history and rich cultural heritage. Guys, do well to drop your honest comments in the comment section. Tell us what you know about the Benin Empire. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.